Hello mga amigo, mga amiga. Good day. It's been a while since my last video. Actually, I'm a bit busy with the project that my daughter is asking me to do. She asked me to build her own table, working table, I should say. It's in here. This one. She's asking me if I can build one for her because she has a lot of things. And I say yes. This is my first time that I build a table. So for those of you guys that wants to do some DIY, you can follow on my succeeding video on how to build things. For those who love to DIY, I think you can relate the fulfillment that I have once you're going to build something. Yeah. So I was not able to document everything. But you can check this one. Um, but today, let's go back to IT. I'm going to do a quick one with the intro to Internet Protocol version 4. I know that the technology is moving to IPv6, but migrating to IPv6 would not be happening anytime soon. But because there's no dependency between IPv4 and IPv6, so IPv4 and IPv6 can exist uh, on your device. So for those who are really serious on uh, computer networking, I think this one is beneficial to you as well because computation on IPv6 is quite confusing. So I think it's a good start if you're going to work with IPv4 first, especially IP addressing and subnetting. But for today's video, I'm not going to discuss about subnetting, but just an IP addressing first for you to have some grasp or understanding on IPv4. How are you going to assign IP address? And then, yeah. So let me have a quick one. So introduction to IPv4. But first, we have some definition of terms. So what is an IP address? So IP stands for Internet Protocol. So protocol is a set of instructions used by computers to communicate. Um, IP address is unique address that identifies a device on your local network or from the internet. So IP address or IPv4 to be specific is a string of numbers separated by dot. So an IPv4 address is expressed in set of four numbers. For example, 10.32.1.200. So each number can be from 0 to 255. So IP address in a nutshell is just like your physical address. Wherein, okay, say for example, you have a home, of course you have your name and your address. And let's say for example, if you buy something from Lazada, Shopee, Amazon, etc. So once you have purchased or you paid the item will be delivered to your specified address. Same goes with IP address. So if you're at home, you have your computer, you have your laptop, you have your mobile devices. So and you are browsing to the internet, you have to have an ISP or your internet service provider that provides you with connectivity to the internet. So let's say, for example, if you're going to browse, let's say in this example, it's Facebook. Um, the request will goes to first it goes to your ISP, and ISP will go to the outside world or to the internet. And after you request anything from Facebook server will respond back to your ISP, and your ISP will go back to your laptop, desktop, or any other device that sends the request. So basically, that is it. That is the idea. But um, I'm going to have another video on this one. We are going to go deeper how the inner workings of the internet. I mean, where are the traffic goes? What are we call that one as hops. So we are going to discuss all of these things in deeper. But for now, just to give you an overview of how the internet works, I have discussed this one with my son, and he told me that this one is very helpful for those um, trying to learn networking, IP addressing, this kind of stuff. So IP address has different classes. So we have Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D for multicast, and Class E for experimental. So Class A IP address starts from 0 to 127 with 16,777,214 to the exact host connected on this specific um, Class A IP address. Class B starts from 128 to 191 with 65,534 hosts. And then Class C would be starts from 192 to 223 with 254 hosts. So normally, if you have encountered at home when you purchase a new router or if you have new subscription or any other device used at home, you're going to encounter the Class C network wherein normally it starts with 192.168.0.1 or 192.168.1.1, for example. So normally the devices at home or home devices starts with 192 or Class C. Yeah. Class D network starts from 224 to 239. So this is used for multicast, like your cable TV, for example, Netflix, I think. Yeah, they're using this Class D network. Class A starts from 240 to 255. And then you cannot use this particular IP address because I believe this is used by network adapter manufacturer for experimental purposes. So basically, you can use the first three, but we have to take note that there are also routable IP address and non-routable IP address. So probably in the next few videos, we're going to discuss all of this topic in discuss this one deeper. So there are types of IP addresses. So there are also different categories of IP addresses, and within each category has different types. So we have consumer IP address. So consumer IP address in every individual or company device that has an internet service plan. Remember, internet service plan has minimum of 2 IP addresses. So let's say, for example, um, if you have a computer, so you have a public IP address and a private IP address. So private IP address are addresses assigned to all your devices or host. We call that one host inside your network. Let's say, for example, your laptop, your desktop, your tablet, your phone, your smart TV, network camera, etc. So, and most of the time, private IP addresses are assigned or is assigned by your router automatically. But you can also manually assign if requires. Okay, so please take note that it says most of the time the private IP address is assigned by your router. So most of the time, but not all the time. Reason being is because your Wi-Fi or your access point can be your DHCP server. So meaning to say that it's either you can use your router or your access point or your switch or your firewall. If the DHCP server is available or dynamic host configuration protocol is available, you can use this particular device to assign IP address to the devices or host inside your network. So it's not all the time a router can be used, but also other devices that supports DHCP service. Windows Server also can be used as the DHCP server. So it's not only router, but also other devices that has DHCP server capability. Yeah? So public IP address. So public IP address are addresses assigned by your internet service provider to your entire network. So not on a single device, but to your entire network. Okay. So this means that all the devices inside your network use the same public IP address most of the time also. But you can specify, let's say, for example, you have purchased block of IP addresses, public IP addresses. So you can assign one public IP address to your laptop, one public IP address for your, let's say, for example, your network camera. That one is also possible, but normally for consumer, um, your internet service provider will provide only one IP address for your entire network. So everything is using the same uh, public IP address. We are going to dig deeper also in another video because I think this would be a bit confusing because we will be discussing about network address translation or not, so or port address translation. I think this one will become a bit as I mean this would be a separate topic to avoid confusion on this particular topic that I'm going to discuss right now. So there are two forms of public IP address. There is a dynamic IP address and a static IP address. So dynamic public IP address change automatically and regularly. So for those of you guys, maybe you can, for those who don't know or not particular about public IP address, maybe from today onward, um, try to observe your public IP address. Later on this video, I'm going to show you how are you going to check your public IP address. So maybe today you are going to check your IP address, and a few hours later you'll check again, or the next day or the following day you check. You will notice that your IP address changed regularly. But a static IP address are assigned to you when you subscribe to your ISP, and public static IP address are paid separately. So what does it mean? If you notice when you subscribe for internet connection from your ISP, let's say for example here in the Philippines, 30 Mbps or 50 Mbps, it would cost us about 1,500, for example, 1,500 peso, which is about uh, could be 50 to $60 Singapore dollars. And then if you have subscribed for business plan, for example, for let's say for example the same speed, about 30 to 50 Mbps, you'll notice that you will be paying um, about 5,000 to probably 8,000 peso, depends on the internet service provider. So which is, I think, 5,000. So yeah, probably 150 Singapore dollars and up. So because ISP provide you with a static public IP address. So when you subscribe, you have a specified public IP address, static public IP address, and it could be in block. So probably they are going to give you a set of IP address. Probably they might give you um, 4 IP address, 6 IP address, or 8. Depends on the subscription. But as the number of IP address or static public IP address given to you, the more expensive the plan. So you have to take note on this. Why do you need a static public IP address? So if you're hosting services in your data center or at home, like your web server, your website, your FTP server, or probably mail server, for example, or any other web related application for those doing some programming, and you want to test your application at home, you have your own server, you have your NAS, for example, your other services that you want to host at home. So that's why you need to have a static IP address. Um, you can also use dynamic public IP address, but it's very troublesome once your your public IP address change, because you need to configure so many things and you need to test again. So yeah, it can be done with a dynamic public IP address, but again, it's a bit troublesome. Yeah. So let me show you as what I have mentioned earlier, let me show you how to check your public IP address. Yeah. So when I open Chrome, I can say what is my IP address, for example. my IP address. So when you click this one, see, you can see that I have this public IP address assigned as IPv4, but there is no IPv6 assigned to me. My ISP is Starlink. Okay, I'm using Starlink, and this is the IP address that is assigned to me. Okay, um, let me change my ISP. So I have this uh, uh, router with me. Let me connect this one. But first, let me check my uh, LAN interfaces in cpa.cpl. Okay. My laptop don't have the LAN card, so I'm using this external LAN. So for those who are serious, right, with networking, I think you can consider using this one. This is very handy. For me, this is a must-have device. Um, this is a USB Type C, actually Type C to LAN. So you can use any cable, Type C cable, connect to this one, connect something like that, and then yeah, it's very handy. I find it very handy, so that's why I recommend this one. If if you like, if you can. So let me connect this. So as you can see, I have here connected, and then let me connect the cable. So let me connect cable. It's disabled. Disabled. Enabled. Okay, now it's enabled, and now as you can see, it's taken over by my LAN. So let me check again my connection. Just to verify. Yeah. So as you can see, now my IP address has changed. So again, let me check the internet, and I have my IP address 192.168.8.123, and then my gateway is 192.168.8.1. So this is the IP address of my router. This is the IP address of my laptop, and this is the IP address of my router. So let me log in. So 192.168.8.1. Yeah. So the interface might be different if on your environment, if you are using different device. So for me, this is the interface. Let me log in. So let me use my very secure password. Haha. No thanks. So when I go settings, yeah, I go for the DHCP service. So on the DHCP, this is a bit confusing because DHCP service, this, I mean, the my router IP address is also here. So yeah, 8.1, this is my router IP address, which is, as you can see in here. And then the DHCP service is enabled, and the range or the number or the IP addresses that as being reserved for the devices that will connect to this router would be from 8.100 to 8.200. So that's why if you can see, my IP address is 8.123. Yeah. But you can also assign statically or static IP address if you don't want to use, I mean, if you really want to know your IP address, so you don't want to be changed every time you turn on your computer, you don't want it that way. Or if you have any other device in your network that requires a static IP address, like your printer or your network camera, because you don't want to uh, keep on looking at your router, what is the IP address of your network camera or your printer. So you can also assign static IP address. Just double click on your interface, properties, and go for your IPv4 properties. Uh, Use, let's say, for example, 192.168.8.1. 8 dot, let's say for example 8. So subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and then your, by the way, I'm going to have a separate video on subnetting. So why is it 255.255.255.0? Why not 255.0.0.0, or why not 255.255.255, probably 192, let's say for example. So why is that so? So we will be discussing subnetting on my next video. Default gateway is my router IP address, that's 8.8.1, and then my DNS, let's say for example I use Google DNS server, and use Cloudflare DNS server. So everything is set. Click OK, close, and then let's see. I get default connectivity, and yeah, there's the internet. And as you can see, my IPv4 address, my subnet mask, my gateway, and my DNS server. And also, maybe in the next videos, we will be discussing about DNS server, how DNS server or how DNS works. Okay, so let me check again if there's still an internet. So what is my address? Definitely it's still the same. And it's only that I just want to show you how are you going to assign IP address on your devices at home. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you'll be able to um, view my next videos. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day.